I guess there's a couple of things we haven't talked about. Safe sex. People assume that pregnancy is no longer a problem, therefore anything goes. But of course, the sexually transmitted infections are on the rise in seniors, and that may well be because of increased levels of sexual activity without consideration of that kind of risk. So condoms and other things are important. Of course, the other thing we haven't discussed is non-heterosexual sex. If we're talking about things that are hidden under the carpet in terms of generational differences, many people have lived completely lives undercover that maybe in communities such as yours, we need to be a lot more educated and a lot more open and a lot more vulnerable about to allow those people to live their full lives without being judgmental or engaging the prejudices of the past with the attitudes of today, and that's clearly very important.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and I think it's very important for us to be able to allow people to live the best life that they want to live, and to enable them to do that with no prejudices at all. But I think you're right. There are probably many who have lived in a way that is not necessarily natural to them or what they'd like to do, but they've kind of lived in that closet, be it either to be stereotypical or even if it's not just by heterosexuality or not, but also just sometimes of their own tendencies. And the interesting part about dementia is sometimes a lot of the stoplights that you had before are no longer there. And so you start to see some of those behaviors that may have always been desires, just not necessarily lived. And so that's an interesting part to think about for sure. I'm looking and seeing that there's not many other questions that we haven't addressed, but I do want to ask a question, which is, people keep talking about cruises and seniors, and we've talked about this a little bit in the past.
Right.
But tell me about both what one needs to think about in terms of how to be safe if you're going to go on a cruise and you're a senior, but also is there other things that make these, to make the punchline and jokes that I'm just missing, or like what is it about cruises and seniors that you think
I think it's the demographic. The demographic of cruises is people over 55 as a minimum. Quite a lot of singletons who then engage in relationships whilst they're on the cruise. So take your lubricant, get your topical estrogen, make sure your erectile dysfunction sorted out if you have that as a problem, take some condoms, be fully informed. What more can I say?